just start breathing. And you want to take a breath out and a deep breath in. And take a deep breath out and take a deep breath in. And then I want to just continue with that breathing out and breathing in. And as you breathe, you just allow your body to relax. You allow your body and your muscles to ease any tension that might be in your temples or in your shoulders or in your lower back. Sometimes we carry our stress in different places, and just deep breathing allows us to relax the muscles and focus in. And as we're breathing, I'm going to just read a couple stanzas of a song, and then I will explain why I chose that song. I want to leave my footprints on the sand of time. No, there is something that I left behind. When I leave this world, I'll leave no regrets. Leave something to remember so they won't forget. I was here. I lived. I loved. I was here. I did. I've done everything that I wanted, and it was more than I thought it would be. I will leave my mark so everyone will know I was here. I just want them to know that I gave my all, did my best, brought someone some happiness, left this world a little better just because I was here. I was here. I lived. I loved. I was here. I did. I've done everything that I wanted, and it was more than I thought it would be. I will leave my mark so everyone will know I was here. And just take a couple more deep breaths. Let the words kind of sit in your mind, heart, body, and soul. And as you take your last couple breaths in, you're just breathing in all of the love, all of your goals, all of your passions, all of your dreams. And as you breathe out, you're breathing out all of your worries, all of your concerns, all of the doubts, all of the negativity or haters. And you're taking one more really big breath in and just imagining all of your ancestors, all of your faith, all of your love, all of the people who support you, just breathing into you and breathing and speaking into your life. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and settle in, come back in. So for that breathing exercise, those stanzas were actually from Beyonce's song, I Was Here. And I felt it was very important for us to kind of think about that in this moment, in terms of there's a lot of us who are thinking about our goals, we're thinking about our passions, but even more so as we as a people wrestle with this environment that we're in, especially in the United States and society, in this anti-Blackness, and how we are stepping into our roles in terms of what are we doing, not only for ourselves, but for our people. And sometimes it can seem like because, we're not on CNN, we're not on Fox, or we're not having all of the millions of people following us, that maybe we're not doing what we're supposed to do, when actually we are. And as long as we are doing our purpose, our spirit-driven purpose, our God-given purpose, we will leave our mark. We will leave it in the sands of time. There's a lot of us who are on the call tonight who love the beach, and we all know that I'm always at the beach. So, the sands of times and thinking about the water and what that means and everything. So that's really where the meditation comes in for this evening. So thank you for joining. I hope that it did something for you and fed your soul. And with that, we are going to jump right on into our hour of power. Welcome again. We're going to get right started with our guest. We will save our announcements for the end. This week, I am very excited to have Miss Sister Keisha Montero. She is just an awesome, awesome woman. She's a legal manager, an outstanding performer in administrative and litigation support. And even more than that, Keisha is an abstract art expression artist. She is an actress. She has been in 2 plays. One play is My Sister, Myself, and the other is Lest We Forget, which is written, both of which were written and directed by Olivia Hilburn. And we are just excited to have Keisha come and just talk to us about being an artist and expressing. And we're just going to get the conversation going. Those of you who are on our Zoom, please feel free to use the chat box to ask questions and also engage in the dialogue. And we're going to go from there. And so with that, Keisha, I'm going to let you introduce yourself in your own way.
Okay. Thank you for the introduction. Also, thank you for the invitation. I'm honored. My name is Keisha Montero. By day, I work for a law firm, but my passion is in the arts. I'm an abstract artist, and my work is selling, which is a good thing. I'm very passionate about reading. I'm very passionate about increasing the literacy in our community, and ensuring that our children get the time that they need to really get into literature and reading and writing well, because they're going to need it. They're going to need it in years to come.
That's great. How did you get into art and abstract art to where you're painting and selling?
Back when I was in middle school, or what they call junior high school at that time, you could not graduate junior high school without art. All the other classes you took, you could take that, all your other classes, but you also needed that art class. You needed art, or you could do drafting, or I think they had a few other things you could do. But I wanted to do art because I was always interested in painting. Even as a little kid, I was always coloring and drawing stuff, and working with color. That was always my thing. Let me see what I can do with color. What can I make? And that's how I got started. Literally, I had an instructor who was like, you're really good at this. Like, have you thought about moving this? And I was like, no, because I had old school parents who were like, no, you're gonna study the basics so that you can go get an education and you can get a job. Art was not a job. It wasn't, they were old school, and I did, and I understand. So it came later for me to push that. Back at that time, you were able to learn, in summer school, you learned how to crochet, you learned knitting, after you did all of your basic studies, all of your, hardcore curriculum stuff. You had classes in crafts and art. And that's where I first, got started. But then, it expanded into other things. By the time I got to college, it became decorating your room,
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first, this is my space. I can do what I want to do. And then once, it developed into interior design, that kind of thing. And then I just started painting again recently, just to keep leveled out. Like I told you, here, the pandemic, I was like, you know what, let me go back to something old that really, really works for me. And that's where I went right back into the painting.
So in many ways, art is your self-care, is your therapy.
It is. Some art, some good music, get on SoundCloud, get some good spoken word. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm happiest. That's where I'm content. I'm not worried about what's going on outside. You know.
Mm-hmm. So you have a question, and the question is, who are some of your art influences?
Art influences. I like Grace Hardigan. She's an abstract artist. Right now, I'm currently really digging this artist from Long Beach, who lives in Long Beach now. She's not from Long Beach, she's from the East Coast. And her name is Amir Rahman, right? No, Amir Rahim, I'm sorry, at Amir Rahim Art on Instagram. Also, Delita Martin at Black Box Press. She's another one. I think she's in Texas. And then here in Los Angeles, there's Shawana Nicole Davis. She's at Be Beautiful LA on Instagram as well. But yeah, I'm really digging their art, what they're saying with their art. And the three women that I just named are, you know, they're sisters doing their thing right now. Amira is an abstract artist. So yeah, and if you look,
so what is it about them that draws you to them? Where they're like your influences? Like, is it the colors that they use, or does it make you think?
Is the content? It makes you think. It makes you, you know, right now, Shawana's working on, or we call her Wana. Wana is working on this phase of this series of art, and she's exploring basically the black female body in nudity right now. Mm-hmm. Colorful. It's colorful, it's big, it's our real bodies, you know what I mean? She's doing that whole, and she's working with, got great color, great technique. So I'm really digging her work right now. I'm really digging her work right now.
That's beautiful. That's great. So how did it feel when you sold your first piece, right? So you went back to your love of art and abstract art, and to help keep calm, right? Like, okay, I got to maintain my sanity because we got to stay at home, and I don't want to look at these walls all the time, and I got to make sure that I'm level-headed. I don't want to start talking crazy. And then you start sharing your art, and you start sharing it in your stories and on Instagram and everything, and then you sell your piece. So what was that like? How'd you feel?
You know, the first piece of art I sold, it was kind of, I was like, okay, you know, it was because you think, but I'm like, I know my stuff. I take time, and I'm good at my craft. So I was just like, okay, so someone is really feeling something with this, or they're really getting it, or they really appreciate the art. And that's really where I'm coming from. It's just that that art is appreciated, and especially from Black artists, because we kind of, Black artists, Black interior designers, Black poets, Black musicians, you know, we're kind of like left out of a lot of the loops. You know what I mean? We're left, we're not, and it's not that we're not visual, because we are, you know, if people are putting their stuff out there and they're doing their work. But I think we need to also support each other. That's the thing. We need to support each other in whatever genre or whatever space that, you know, the art is being produced in.
I think it's important that you bring that up. You know, as you know, I'm a lecturer in things, and at Casa LA, and one of the conversations that I noticed a lot of people were having, especially at the beginning of COVID and physical distancing, was, you know, look, everything's shutting down. People are stuck at home. And now, look, people are going back to the artists, to the creatives, to those who express as ways to stay sane. And look how valuable and essential these artists are and these creatives are. And then not only that, but then we also see it with, in terms of Black folk, right? In terms of our people, that's one of the things in terms of why we love verses so much. It's us. And in this expression and how important it is to express ourselves as Black people. So, and now you're part of, you've always been part of it with your plays and singing and everything, but now you're part of it on another level. Does that feel different? Do you feel emboldened about it? Do you feel, how do you feel about it? And I know that we have a couple people on our Zoom call who are also musicians and artists and spoken word artists, so feel free to chime in as well. And we have a really good dialogue around that.
I feel blessed to be able to do it again. I feel, when I first started doing it, I was like, because the first thing you think after putting it down for so long is, can I just get back into this? Can I roll back into this? And it was almost like second nature. It was, let's get the supplies you need. Let's get this up and running. So I'm happy to be part of this, of the art scene right now. Like I said, I would like to see us support each other a lot more. I would also like to see, I think one of the worst things that could have happened to our community was that the arts were taken out of our community. Black people are very expressive people. And I think one of the better ways we have of expressing ourselves is through our art. Whether you're singing, whether you're writing music, arranging, whether you're a spoken word artist, whatever your genre is.
Right. Just thinking about that culturally, our people have always used art. Our people have used art as history. The griot, the storyteller of our communities, was used singing and dance and artistic expression. And I'm thinking of a piece by Chinua Achebe called The Evil World and Its Art. And in it, he talks about art, whether you're sculpting or whether you're painting or whether you're doing a spoken word piece in poetry, as really from the creator, from God, from the divine, and being used to help and advance the people forward, and not only just on a material level, but on a spiritual level, being able to physically manifest the creativity of God, the supreme being, and having a place in that. I think it's just profound in how we as a people have continued to make sure that our artistic expression continues no matter what is going on in society. We as a people hold on to that as kind of like a cultural continuity, that no matter what you do, we're gonna have our creative expression. It's God-given and it's purpose, and we're gonna keep it and going into that, and you being part of that. And I'm gonna put him on blast. Tim is part of that, our associate director, as a singer, and and Siggy's online as a spoken word artist, and just being part of that, and how impactful and positive and empowering it is for our community. So I called y'all out so y'all can speak.
But it is important. It's important for us to be expressed. That's our way of communicating.
I think the volume cut out. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I can hear you. Tim, it's good. Did one of you guys want to say anything?
I agree with everything that Keisha has said. Art is very important. That was one of the things that I loved most about being in school. And I do think it's sad that they're taking it out of schools or like trying to cut programs. And I do feel like we need to support each other more. And I will say that Keisha is one of those very supportive artists. Like what she's saying, she actually means it. Like she'll put up a piece that she's working on and she'll have a caption, a line that she loved from my book written with her piece. Like she shows so much love and she really believes in artists supporting artists and putting each other out there. And like, she's just amazing.
That's beautiful. So that just look at the camaraderie, right? And the sisterhood and the community aspect of I have my art, but at the same time I'm going to let people know about this other artist who is out there by including it in the artwork, and how wonderful that is, and just a sign of, no, we don't argue and go against each other's back all the time, behind each other's back all the time. Like we're able to love one another and just have that expression of love. That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Tim shared. He said that he finds that his artistic expression as a singer has kept him grounded during this time, and that's just so 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 important. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Keisha.
No, I mean, it kept me grounded. It keeps me positive more, because though there are days, there have been some dark days around here lately. And it keeps me grounded and it keeps me positive. It keeps me wanting to, what's the next step? I start looking at next steps instead of just, centering myself in all the negativity and everything that's going on. Because we can't stay there. We still have to move forward, whatever the situation. We've got to move forward from that.
Right.
And my goal is to try to move from that positively, and taking next steps. So, and the art helps me do that because it's always about, you do it in layers. So it's always about those beginning layers, and you keep building on that and building and building. So it's always about getting better and really, really creating the vision that you want.
That's awesome. So what's your goal with your art? Like how far do you want to take it? Do you foresee what's happening, Keisha?
As far as it can go. I mean, yes. Do I want to sell paintings at these Fantax? Absolutely. Do I want later on for people to look at my work, even after I'm gone, and be like, okay, yes, this is selling for X number of dollars because this work is considered, genius. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Why not? I mean, why not? I mean, I think when you practice your art, and I also want to, I want our young people to think it's, because when I was in school, I thought art was cool. I thought artists were like cool. They were the cool people. Regardless of whatever, whether they were singing, spoken word, or poetry, I always thought they were cool. Ooh, that's cool. People who sang, that's cool, that's great. I want our kids to feel that way about art, all forms of art, all forms of expression, whether it's dance, whatever it is. I want them to feel that way. And I think in order them to feel that way, that we do need to work on getting art back into school.
Yes, absolutely.
But we do. I mean, it was a huge part of my formative years and coming up through, K through 12. It was just huge. It was huge. If you needed an instrument, they had that. They would supply you with your instrument. You could play band, jazz band, orchestra. You had all kinds of quintets, quartets, all kinds of stuff. you had chorus, choir, you know, music appreciation. They don't really have any of that stuff. And
Right.
I think it was a short-sighted, I think it was a short-term solution that created a huge long-term problem in our community.
You know, as you're saying that, I'm being reminded of my time in school. I don't recall a grade level where I didn't have art. Now, I don't ask me to draw, right? No, I had to take the drawing and the painting classes, and it just, I was like, oh, can I please go do some push-ups? But when some of my best memories are the choirs and singing and the plays and being on stage and taking on a character of a completely different person who was completely outside my personality. I remember one play I was in, I was a cheerleader. There's nothing cheerleader about me. Not, and especially then, you know, I was in mismatched sweats and Jordans, and you was gonna catch me playing football in the street, like far from a cheerleader. But I was like, I can be the Valley Girl cheerleader, right? But I think, like when you said a short-term solution that created a long-term problem, I think one of the things that we miss and don't talk about in terms of the arts is the emotional intelligence that you develop. So when you have to have the character development, when you have to figure out how to sing from the depths of your soul and then understand, well, why am I crying while I'm singing this song? I didn't know I was feeling this way. There is a emotional intelligence that's developed that also you then learn how to verbally express. And some of the things that we're missing because we don't have the arts, whether it's spoken word or singing or acting or dancing, is we don't know, a lot of us don't know how to deal with all of these racing thoughts and things that are going on in our mind because we don't know how to express how we feel. And so being an abstract artist and putting your art out there, and then those artists who are also on the call with us, you guys are really helping our people reconnect and remember the importance of expressing ourselves culturally in a manner that frees our minds so that we can free and heal our souls at the same time and navigate this space. So I wish I would have transcribed that because I can use it for my dissertation. But like, wait a minute, I got to rewind that later. But I think that you saying that in terms of now, what does it mean for our children and what does it mean in this time is really, really, really important. And I can just see like the love that you have to be able to think about how do we get this back into our schools? And if we can't get it back into the public schools right away, how can we reinforce this for our children and for our community? And so I see as you part of that.
Are you?
I think someone's trying to say something. You can just say it. I don't know if you're trying to talk.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to ask Keisha if do you plan on, like, do you see yourself doing things to kind of get the youth back into art, like maybe hosting abstract classes for them or things like that?
Yes, absolutely. I've been, it's bouncing around in my head how I can actually accomplish this and to be able to bring some of the art suppliers on to and to allow the kids to experience it. I mean, you don't know until somebody introduces you. And right now, there's no path to that. You know, it's art supplies like any other supplies right now are they're tremendously expensive.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about campuses. So yes, I'm absolutely trying to figure out a way, a program. I was even thinking, well, I could probably mail out a lot of these so the kids can, and we could do a Zoom class, or, I'm thinking of always, especially right now, we're doing something in a park where everybody's on their blanket, they're 6 feet away from each other, they've got their mask on, and paint is just flying all over the place. I mean, I'm thinking about it. I've got to try to sit down with pen and pad and really work it out how I'll manage that. But yeah, it's something I'm thinking about. I'm definitely thinking about it.
Oh, that's going to be great. I know however you manifest that, it's going to be great, and it's going to really impact our children. And whoever does your classes, I'm sure it'll be very fulfilling and rewarding for you as well. And I'm looking forward to it. And please let Natural We know how we can be involved and help spread the word and going from there. And I'm just going to shift a little bit, but it's still connected. Natural We is launching our tutoring program, Zoom tutoring, actually starting next week. And Keisha is actually one of our tutors who will be teaching, helping kids and the students with reading and college essay writing. And I'm just, sitting here, just one, grateful. Thank you. And two, but how do you see that connection as artists and also helping students like read and write?
Well, I think reading and writing help children or anyone to find their voice. A lot of times people can't, and I know I found this as a young child, I couldn't express everything verbally the way I wanted to, but I found that because I had such great English teachers, ninth grade teacher comes to mind like so fierce right now. I remember her, she's this little short Black woman, and she was a terror. I'm serious, she was terror. I remember her, and I'm just like, oh wow, okay, yes. But things like journaling, that children be introduced to that early, so they start expressing themselves. And it doesn't have to be deep at first. It can just be, okay, talk about last night, or talk about from the hours that you left from school to, whatever, this morning. Express yourself. They need that, because that's, to me, writing is an art. Writing is an art. And I'm going to say something that my mother used to say all the time, and that's, if you cannot read and comprehend what you are reading, you are not going to be able to do the other things that you want to do. You can't do math really well if you don't read very well. It's all about comprehension. That goes with anything else that you're trying to do. You've got to have that reading down. You have to have the ability to comprehend what you're reading, and build that vocabulary. It shouldn't be kids getting to ninth grade or 10th grade and going, oh my God, I got the SAT in like 2 years and I need to build this vocabulary. No,
Right.
Kindergarten, let's go with this. Kids, because these kids nowadays, they can run with these little vocabulary words, and they're not little. Like you ask somebody, compliance, you're not compliant. My little granddaughter knows what compliant is at 8. She gets it. And I think our kids are more than capable. They're more than capable. But I think they also need someone to sit down with them that cares about them actually learning. And because it's a reading, writing, it's all about expression.
Right.
It teaches them to express themselves. And expressing yourself, that's all art is. It's just expressing yourself visually. If you're singing yourself that way. through music, expressing yourself.
Yeah, that's so. And you know, so one of our council of elders is a former a retired English teacher. I'm not going to say former because she's always still teaching, but she is professionally retired. And while you were talking about just the terror and the short line, she's on the screen just like, yeah, that's right, I just love it. There's just something about those Black women teachers who care. There is something about them, and our Black male teachers as well. But just thinking about the Zoom call that we're on right now, you had a Black woman English teacher who made a very significant impact on your life. I had a Black woman English teacher in college who, I swear to this day, I don't know how she knew it, but I used to come to her English class with a coffee mug, but the coffee mug actually had vodka in it, and I would sit in the back. I know. I would sit in the back, and and one day she came up to me and she took that mug out of my hand and was like, I don't know how you're passing my class with the A because you shouldn't be, but you are not drinking this anymore, and you need to walk in your purpose, young woman. So, okay, right? And she was like, I will find your mom. I was like, you don't need to find Pastor Jack anywhere. No. But you know, I knew that she was bold enough to come up to me like that, because any other teacher I probably would have decked. But with her, I was like, yes, ma'am. But I knew that she cared. And when we're talking about even tutoring our kids and with the reading and writing and with the painting and expression, there's a lot, when we know that our teachers and instructors care about us, we are willing to perform, and we're willing to perform out of love and respect. That is not out of fear. And you know, Lady O is our council of elders on the call who has written and directed the plays that you're in, and you know, I've been privy to. Now, you know, Lady O is no joke. You know, don't let her physical stature fool you now. But we love her. Like, the love and care and respect that we have for her is monumental. I'm like, man, I need to call Lady O, but she gon' fuss at me, but I really want to talk to her because I know I'm gonna get a hug and a prayer at the end and go from there, and she's gonna bring out the best. And when we talk about that in terms of people of African descent and Black people, we can talk about integration as much as we want in integrating the school systems. But what we also must talk about is, before those schools were integrated during that segregation, we had teachers who cared about us. We had teachers who, they were not ashamed to go find your mom and dad after church and be like, such and such was cutting up in my class. And so you may have been getting it the whole way home, but you knew that it was because they were going to protect you, they were going to safeguard you, and you were willing to learn. And so you are part of that in our tutoring program, and we thank you for that. And Lady O, I know you wasn't expecting to get all that on the call, but you're going to be all right. Good, but please know that we love, honor, and appreciate you. And actually, everyone on the call today has worked with you. So we're just really privileged and honored and humbled. And I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to say something, Mom, Lady O.
Yes, ma'am. I knew it was coming. See, I know you for your work. What a great group. I mean, my poet laureate is here. My Keisha May is here. My Tierra Lou, that's your new name. And did I see Tim on there? Yeah, Tim is on there too. What a great group of creative people that I'm blessed to be a part of. And everything that you said was true. I taught for 33 years, and all through those years, my song was, yes, integration was great, but we fared much better during segregation because we had to. And we took care of one another, and we watched for one another, and we nurtured one another, and we heard one another. And it really did make a difference. And friends of mine, colleagues, we had the same attitude that our teachers took with us. I remember very clearly keeping my Black male students after class one day in an AP 12th grade English class and telling them, asking them first, guys, why do you think you're all here? Look around and see who's here. And they all started laughing. I said, okay, what's funny? Why do you think you're here? Were we the only Black guys in the class? I said, yeah, and so why do you think I'm keeping you after? And it was because their grades were not what they should have been. And I said, so this is what we're going to do. I created a row in my classroom and I called it the row. And they sat on that row next to my desk. And by the end of the semester, there were 2 A's and 2 B's out of those 4 gentlemen. You know, because, and I told them, I said, I'm not calling your parents. I'm going to deal with you. You're in the 12th grade, you're 17, you're 18. I'm going to talk to you. And I told them, this is personal for me. I chose to teach at Locke High School for those 25 years. I started off in the Valley. And, you know, that was an integration thing, but I wanted to come to Locke because I wanted to deal with kids that look like my nieces and nephews. And so it was very personal for me, and I have been blessed over these years to still be in contact with students who are just doing phenomenal things in government, in the military, in entertainment, in industry. Great kids, you know, that I never would have encountered had I stayed out in the Valley. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to have been at Locke for all that time, and grateful to be working with Natural Weave has the same attitude. And don't try it, Professor Akua, honey. I've seen some of your students' comments as well. You put forth that same, but again, it's because it's personal. You know, it's because it's personal. And Keisha, I'm delighted to hear that you're going to be working with the young kids, and you know, Poet Laureate Segura. You know, I'm just waiting for the Poet Laureate status to come. I already know that it's there. But you know, these are the people that, you know, you all are going to make the difference. You're going to make the difference for our kids in the community. And so I'm glad to be a part of this call, a part of Natural We, working on the next play, Keisha. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
The sequel?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you know.
Just want to give you a heads up. That's all.
Oh, gosh. I have to get back on.
It's going to be great.
It was, I mean, because it was a play. I mean, such great direction. And that was my first time. And, you know, because people say, oh, I have a part, you know, and they made me like 2 lines. No, okay, this is my first time. And I'm thinking, oh, no, I probably just have a paragraph. I get page after page after page. I'm like, oh, my gosh, I can't, you know. I work with some really ladies, and under the direction of Lady O, but I felt like when I first got together with these ladies that I was so far behind, because a lot of them have been on stage. They do this. This is what they do, and I have done working with her. So I felt a little out of my league at first. It's acting is no joke, and when you have somebody that really wants you to pull that particular character out, and she gives you no care at all. You know, you do everything outside, but right now we in this play, and I'm gonna need you. Okay, and not only am I going to do, this is who I want. This is what this character is supposed to look like. Mm-hmm. She pulls that out of me. She really, really does. So, like I said, it was an experience. Trust me, it was, you know, and you're thinking you got to walk in that one day and you're like, oh yeah, I got it, I'm good. And then she comes in and she's like, well, you know, I've changed all those lines. So you need to go and you need to learn this. And you're like, oh my God, like, lady, put the paper down. I thought you said this was done. But I mean, it was one of the best experiences I've had. I mean, seriously.
You were great. And you rose to the occasion, my dear. You were great. And that's part of my plan for the future, is to create a place where kids can be trained in theater. You know, when I grew up, there was Ebony Repertory Company out here, and there was also Inner City Cultural Center. Mm-hmm. And you could go after school, and, you know, Forrest Whitaker came out of Inner City. And, you know, you could go and learn the basics and learn of the backstage stuff as well. And that is my dream, that before I get out of here, I want to create something like that in our community for our kids who, again, have limited outlet for that in public schools. You know, I taught drama at Locke for years, and then they just killed my program. One day the principal came in and said, well, we won't be offering drama and play production anymore. And I'm like, huh? You know, and it never came back to this day. That was in the late 80s, and it never came back. And so there needs to be something in the community for these kids who have all this talent, so much talent, and just no outlets. So I'll be calling on each of you on this call to help me do that.
And we're going to answer the call.
Absolutely. I'll come for you. You know me. I will come.
We don't even need you to come for us. We're going to come running, you know. Because it's going to happen. Because as you said, it's personal for all of us. You know, our poet laureate, she don't know it, but she's going to be one of our next Natural Weed community guests, who's going to go on ahead and publicize her book and, you know, do a couple spoken word pieces for us and everything. But, you know, this is part of, and Tim, I'm sure he'll go in the chat and speak to this as well. He's already said we love us some Lady O, but also in terms of Natural Weed, and, you know, just knowing each of you on a personal level in various ways, you know, we have a heart for this, and we have a heart for it, not for any accolades, although the accolades are nice when we do get them, but we know what it's like to have people who love and care for us and empower us, and still have that, and how important it is for the next generation having this cycle and this cyclical, and being able to really empower ourselves. And as we were talking about earlier, as much as there is a lot of mess going on, there is so much beauty going on. There is so much developing and so much happening. You know, we're having time to sell our art pieces. We're having time to publish our books. We're having time to lay in the plans. And Tim, I'm going to put you out there to have an original song. You know, go ahead and figure out how to record your original song, Tim, you know, vocalist. And really being able to put it out there and go from there. And so we're going to do this. We're going to do this work, and we're going to support one another. Keisha and Segura, you know, having the art with the lines from the book is just awesome and amazing. And I was telling Keisha, I'm so happy. I'm so full of joy. And it's these moments that increase it. And I am thankful to all of you on the call, and for how you guys support Natural We, and how we are able to support one another. You know, Lady O put me on a timeout from play. She told me I had to finish my school and then I could come back. I'm almost done, you know, but you know, I'm thankful for each and every one of you for the support. And I know Keisha, we kind of went away from interviewing Soul You, but I think that this is organic and this is necessary. It's private and it's so beautiful.
Yeah. I like it.
So, does anyone else have any final things to say, any type of word of encouragement, affirmation, anything before we begin to wrap up? I just want to open it up real quick again. You know, from the elder on down, there's so much wisdom and knowledge and passion and pursuit in this call. I don't want to leave it prematurely. So does anyone else have anything to say?
I want to encourage each of you in whatever your pursuit to just get out there and do it. Everything is changing right now. Everything that we thought was normal is not. Everything means something different, or it means something more. There's 12 more levels to what was said. There's so much opportunity out there and so much talent. And so just get out there and do it. We need you. Those of us who are 60 and above, we're looking for our chairs right now. And so we need you to just perpetuate and keep doing it. Keep sharing your art. Keep sharing your gifts. Wherever they'll let you do it. Everywhere, anywhere, because somewhere, some kid who's in their teens is watching you. You have no idea the impact that you're making right now. And so I know it's only going to get bigger and it's only going to grow. So I just want to encourage you to just do it. You know, get out there and put it out there, because the world is hungry for it. We are hungry for it. And so God bless each of you, and just do it. Just do it.
I am.
Do it. We will. Yes, we will.
Say, hold on. I want to show y'all something real quick. So this is one of Keisha's pieces. So I wanted to highlight her work.
Oh, beautiful.
Cool.
So I saw this. She posted this. She was like, I'm doing a new series. And I was like, yeah, no, you're not, because I'm taking that one.
You're right off my arm. That was that idea. I mean, the series was continuing, but I was just like, oh my gosh, you know how you have that lead piece or that lead paragraph, and somebody goes, shh, shh, no. And
I love it.
So I love Keisha's work, and just want to, and whatever I can say to get you to keep doing it, because it's just amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like I mentioned earlier, she's like a really supportive artist. Like I find out about more things by just going on her page, because she's always sharing somebody's work or something. Like I never even knew about these series until she sent me that she was going to be on this, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. So like I just learned so much just from watching Keisha's page, and it's just amazing.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That is beautiful. Keisha, you have any final words?
I just, I want us all to, with everything that's going on, to operate in that space of gratitude. We have, I think, God has been so good to each of us. I mean, we're still here. We're still, even though we have those days of struggle, we're in our right minds,
Yeah.
And I think we need to continue praying for one another. We need to continue empowering one another and pushing one another and elevating one another whenever we can. And just, stay in that word as often as we can, and just, like I said, just keep encouraging one another. Just you know, being kind to one another.
Right.
You know, being kind. You know,
Important.
Yes, important. And actively listen to one another.
Mm-hmm. This has just been great. Thank you, Keisha, for being our guest and just the inspiration for this great, wonderful conversation. We appreciate you. Thank you to Sagira and Tim and Lady O for not only joining and listening, but also indulging me as I put you all on the spot to also contribute. I appreciate it. That we will say that that's the professor in me. And go from there. But this has just been great. We appreciate it. Before we go, just a couple of brief announcements. Our community feeding initiative, Project Feed the One, World Vision, Panera Bread, and New Providence has just been great. Each time we're feeding over 200 people. The next one is September 12th. We're just so thankful. Starting next Tuesday is the launch of our Natural We Community Tutoring Services. So the link for registering your children for tutorials will be on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as early as this evening. And then the flyer will also be out. If you have any questions, you can contact us. We're very excited. And then starting the following Monday on September 7th, our Associate Director, Timothy Bryant, will be launching our Money Mondays series for the month of September. We typically have a financial literacy workshop in September. With COVID and the physical distancing, we have transitioned it to Zoom. It will be 3 Mondays out of the month of September. We have a grant writing class. We have a workshop class on wills and trusts. And the other one escapes me right now, but please be on the lookout for more information. It's going to be a dynamic series, and we are very, very excited about that. And with that, that comes our Naturally Community Hour Power to a close. We apologize that the Facebook Live connection was not working, but this has been recorded, and it will be up on our social media within the next couple days. When we hop off of here, I will immediately go to Facebook Live and give a recap of what we talked about today so people know that we still had it and that the video is coming, and we go from there. So with that, stay safe, everyone. You are all in my prayers, well wishes, and thoughts, and please know that together we are more than well. Take care.
Right on. Mwah, 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 mwah.